check your cell phones, please. We'll let Coach Muschamp make the opening statement, then open up for questions. If you raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you. Coach Muschamp.
Well, we made it a little more interesting than it probably needed to be. So Coach Tanner's been complaining about concessions. So I figured we'd keep some people around in the game. But really proud of our football team that, the last 2 weeks, Vanderbilt game and Georgia game, two very physical games. We had a bunch of guys that took very sparingly reps throughout the week and go out there, and DJ Smith wasn't able to go in pregame, and Dante Sawyer was limping on one leg. And, but we're like everybody else in the country right now. We're really beat up, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But I thought we moved the ball extremely well. We stayed balanced, exactly what we want to do, ran the ball extremely well. Jake will have a couple throws. We had a miscommunication coming off the goal line on the ball there, and then got to take a sack or throw the ball away on the one wheel right on our sideline. You can't throw a pick in that situation, and then the ball in the end zone. I don't think he saw the safety. You can ask him, but the guy made a heck of a play. Chauncey came out of the top and intercepted the ball, but much better on third down defensively. I thought we stopped the run other than 2 runs on the power play off the nub side on the backside. I thought we played the runs pretty well for the most part, but our guys continued to fight and play hard in the game and made the plays when we needed to make the plays. A huge interception there at the end. And give Florida credit. Those kids have been through an awful lot. It's a very difficult thing to go through and what those young men are facing, and I hate it for those guys. But they got a bunch of good kids in that locker room. It's a tough situation that they're going through right now. I told our football team all week that this team's going to come out and fight and play hard. I know those guys. And so they represented Florida extremely well today. And I'll open it up for any questions.
Will, how are Shy Smith and Tyson Williams?
Shy, it was not a hit. Guy, I think, was poked in the eye and had blurry vision in the eye. There was not a hit. There was no contact, and he had a hard time getting focused, so they couldn't get him back in. And Tyson's fine. AJ was running extremely well. Mon was playing extremely well. And certainly I just talked to Tyson in the locker room. He's good, and certainly we're going to need him moving forward.
Could have been in front.
With DJ, was it the hip again?
Yeah, he's got a hip, and took a pretty good shot in the Georgia game, and he's just limited. He got out there in pregame. He tried, moved around a little bit, and moved around throughout the week. Practiced a little bit Thursday, but we just didn't feel like he was full speed enough to play. Stephen Montek did a nice job. Javon Charleston did a nice job.
Will, is it safe to say this is the most balanced this team has been all year on offense?
I would
this
against a good defense. At the end of the day, I know they've had their share of injuries, but those, C.C. Jefferson and Taven Bryan and Zaninga, those guys, they got good football players. And but I was extremely pleased with how we were able to run the football, move the football, and something we've done all year is take care of the ball. We just got to take care of it a little bit better, make some better decisions. But we certainly will work on that moving forward.
What was the difference defensively on third down for you guys today?
Well, I think that they went to a lot of 7-man protections, but I thought T-Rob and the defensive staff did a really good job of creating some one-on-ones. We won in some one-on-ones. We flushed Malik early in the game. We had him on the perimeter a lot, and Felipe. I felt like we got good pressure on him. He's got a tremendous arm talent. You saw there at the end, and that's just a poor decision by our players. We're in man coverage. We got him flushed. We got exactly what we wanted. It's a 3rd and 5 situation. He wanted to run the jerk route to the boundary, and they kept running their routes downfield. And our guys came out of coverage. When the quarterback hadn't crossed the line, you can't come out of coverage, and our guys know better than that. We'll do a better job of coaching. That's on me. But that situation should not have happened.
Coach, talk about how you thought the team competed today in the trenches.
Well, I thought we competed extremely well. You take away 2 runs that they had, one on our sideline and one for the touchdown right before halftime. That's really in the run game, and the one quarterback counter on their sideline for about 30 yards. I don't know exactly what the rush was. That was for 23 yards. But you take those 3 runs, the running game was non-existent. And then for us to be able to stay balanced and run the ball to help us in the throwing game is huge.
Well, a lot of SEC teams have had, well-documented adversity this year. You guys have had injuries and so forth too. What's been the key to you guys managing your own adversity this year and keep plugging along?
I think it's the culture within our program from a standpoint of something that we preach about every day, man down, man up, so what, now what mentality. Whether you've done something very good and successful, and it doesn't matter. It matters about the next snap. It matters about the next day, the next hour, the next minute. And or you face great adversity. You move to the next thing, and we have a so what now what mentality, and that's part of who we are and what we are moving forward. And don't let external circumstances things you have no control over, including injuries, affect who you are and how you play. That's true in life. And you know, to me, you know, you talk about progress. This football team was 3-9 2 years ago. 3-9. And I just complimented them in the locker room. You talk about investing in what you need to do to be successful, to buying into a new coaching staff, to buy into a different way of maybe doing things. And I'm really proud of this football team and how that they've invested in us and invested in themselves and in each other. Because there's a lot of progress being made. Now, we're not happy with where we are, so don't misunderstand what I'm saying. We have a lot more out there for us moving forward, but I'm very proud of the progress we've been able to make.
Taylor had 5 quarterback hurries, and he was a guy that you didn't know was going to play throughout the week. Just what did you see out of him and your defensive line as a whole, probably getting to the quarterback and rushing up field?
Well, I think that, you know, again, we felt good about our matchups up front. Taylor's got some really good inline quickness. He's a very strong guy. He's a powerful young man, and we feel very good if he's going to be in a one-on-one that we can win. And, again, you credit Coach Thompson and Coach Robinson, those guys, for creating some one-on-ones for him. You know, Dennis Wanham seemed to get back there a bunch. He seems like he always does, but he got good pressure on the quarterback. I saw Dante back there. You saw Javon Kinlaw run out there on a flare pass from inside out at 300 pounds. And that's when you talk about effort and you talk about wow plays, that's what we're talking about. And the big man can run.
Go back, Mike.
Coach, especially in that first quarter, sloppy football by both teams early on. Did you say anything to the guys to kind of settle them down, or anything at halftime to kind of just like, hey, you know, let's just
Well,
settle
very
down?
uncharacteristic throw. I mean, the miscommunication, I'll be honest, I'm not sure the receiver or Jake, I got to get more of what happened there. It was a sudden change situation where we thought until we stripped them on the goal line there. You know, the punt return situation was just an unfortunate deal. We got blocked into it, and we hit it. There's no doubt about it. It was a turnover. And, you know, just one of those things that you got to play through, and our guys played through. We held them to a field goal in that situation after the quick screen that hit for about, I don't know, I would say probably 23, I guess. 23 is a magic number today. But we held them to a field goal in that situation, so that's what you got to be able to do. You got to keep playing, and I felt like that, you know, we were getting a good surge offensively. I felt good about our matchups outside and Jake being able to throw the football consistently well throughout the game, and just keep playing the game.
Over here to the right now.
So when Clinch is a winning season and you finish 5-3 in SEC play, how important is that, especially for recruiting and just the general image of the program?
Well, I go back to progress, and you know, the best records we had since 2013 in the SEC. You know, that's what when you talk in terms of progress, you've got to be able to show recruits. You also need to be able to show your team. You know, as hard as we work, as much time and effort that they put into what we do and how we do it, you've got to be able to point to certain things and say, this is why you're working. These are why you're doing these things. Understand why these things are happening and positive thing, and you've got to have positive reinforcements. You know, that's just part of, you know, where we are.
Will, how did you manage Jake through the 3 picks, and how much did you, if at all, tailor your play calling differently after the 3rd pick and maybe move more conservatively with the run?
Well, we did. We honed it in a little bit. That was something, a conversation we had on that, just to calm him down. You know, at the end of the day, he's an outstanding football player, and I'm glad he's our quarterback, and nobody competes harder on our team. But at the end of the day, we got to hone it back in a little bit and try and run the ball a little bit. We missed Haven on the power play on the 1st and 10. He smacked us in the backfield, and we missed 11 off the edge in the next play. We felt like it was 2 well-protected runs that we would be able to run. We hit A.J. on the power play the series before, I think, for 34-something yards. So, again, you know, we needed to dial it in a little bit, but, you know, when the game was on the line, I'm glad Jake's our quarterback.
I guess you had a similar sort of experience last year down in Gainesville, but what did it mean to you to embrace all your some of your former players, guys you recruited, guys you worked with?
You know, you can't put up, you know, the relationships you have with players. So it's important to me.
John over here. And then back in front.
It seemed like y'all had a lot more success than usual with inside runs, especially with Mon. Was there anything to that this week? Is there anything to Mon getting yards between the tackles?
Well, I think, you know, sometimes it doesn't look pretty, but an inside zone that's able to crease a defense can hit for a big gainers, and we had several today that hit for big gainers. But also the power play was was a very successful for us. They were getting CC as a 9 technique outside, and we were able to win the C gap a bunch in the game on the power play. So I think they complemented each other. We had a run check set up several times at the line of scrimmage based on the front, and I thought our guys did a nice job.
Without DJ in there, just how much did you get from your safeties group and Jam being able to go to safety and let Chris play some nickel?
Well, we're able to rotate based on matchups for that situation, and Jam does a really nice job. And the guy's a true freshman. He's mature beyond his years as far as how he handles the situation. But Chris does a really nice job of directing traffic, and Steven Montack can play every position probably in our defense. He's extremely bright and intelligent, and to be able to have a guy like that's really a luxury for you as a coach.
Well, you mentioned Mon there, a season high for him and for AJ as well,
Mm-hmm.
for the team, 4 touchdowns on the ground. What did you see from the rushing attack today?
Well, again, I thought we had some extremely well blocked plays. I also thought that both of those guys ran extremely hard. I think we count bull yardage and yards after contact, and I think we had a bunch today. I don't know, but very proud of both of those young men. They continue to, and again, both those guys are on our kickoff team. They're on a kickoff return. I mean, they do everything. I mean, they're on the field all the time. Our best players play everything. And that's where you gain an advantage, and I certainly feel like we gained an advantage other than the turnover in special teams today. And Chris had a really nice punt return. That was another hidden yardage of about 35 yards maybe. So that was good.
You mentioned explosive plays a lot. What's your goal for explosive plays on the ground?
On the ground, well, we just say 8 overall. So if a team's really selling out to stop the run and you hit 8 explosives in the passing game, then that's good. But we say 8 overall.
And explosive plays are 20 plus?
20-plus pass, 10-plus run. You're moving the chains on you look at it, and a lot of offensive coaches disagree with me, which that's fine. But in a run, if you hit a 10-yard run, you're moving the chains. You can throw a dig on the backside, an in route, and complete it and defend it perfectly and gain 16 yards, which most offensive guys want to say 16 yards is an explosive play. To me, it's not, because you can defend it perfectly, make a tackle after the guy catches the ball. It's not an explosive play. We played it right. There's nobody frustrated on defense. Let's play the next snap.
Any question for Coach? Ben?
Have you in your career ever been part of a sequence like the one that started with Jake's pick, then you guys get the fumble back, and then after you guys punt, you immediately kind of have those back-to-back turnovers again? Have you been part of a sequence sort of like that?
Well, I was glad it worked that way, as I was getting booed for not going for it on 4th and 1. So it actually worked pretty good for us. We threw the pick coming back. But, I don't know. It was a great effort by our guys. I don't know who got the strip on the goal. I think it was Zach Bailey maybe. I didn't see. Who was it? Hayden Hurst. Okay. I saw Zach flash. I didn't know who it was. But, again, that's another guy's not giving up on a play. And that's typical of our football team. We'll continue to play. And, then be able to get the momentum, switch back and punt it, and BP, put one on the ground. So, again, I'm proud of our football team. We've showed tremendous resiliency this year. We've had a lot of adversity, but our guys continue to play, and real proud of what they've done.
Well, the so what now what thing that you guys always say, I hear Alabama guys say that too. Did you get that from Nick, and what's the difference in saying that and actually really getting guys to buy in? Because I'm sure that kind of stuff's said all over the place.
No doubt. I mean, Dr. Kevin Elko is somebody that we use here as far as some mental training, as far as those things are concerned, and self-talk and things that I think are really important to creating a psychological edge for your football team. And he brought it to us, and that's something that our guys really have bought into. And I think that, when you hear your players talking on the practice field and on the sideline and in different spots, and you hear the constant language of so what, now what, and every down dude and those sort of things, that's when you know you're reaching your football team. And there's no doubt that our team has bought into that mantra.
Will, I know after wins and even just after games in general, even today, wife embraces you, comes over, gives you a hug. I don't know if you'll admit it, but do you think this was a special win for your family, though, considering the pass with Florida a little bit?
No, well, we enjoyed it. It was good to see Jackson Wood on the field. But I want to thank our fan base. At 12 noon kickoff, I've been working a lot of places where half the stadium was full, regardless of your record. And that place was packed. There's no doubt about it. And it was loud, and we really appreciate our fans more than we could ever thank them for the support that they have for our players.
Last one goes to Ben.
What were you kind of seeing on the play where one of their defenders kind of got a hand on Jake in the end zone, and it seemed like he just kind of slung it, and Hayden sort of pulled it. And what are you kind of seeing on that one?
Well, I wish he wouldn't have thrown it. You know, in that situation, you don't throw the ball up in that situation and, you know, anticipate the edge pressure. They brought a sand bullet off the edge. We've got to be able to get the ball out quicker. Yeah.
We'll let Coach go get some players in here.
All righty, thank you.
We'll start with a little offense first. Jake Bentley and A.J. Turner. Jake, my father. A.J. close to me. Questions, Jake?
Jake had 3 picks today. Just what was going on out there?
You know, I think you just heard Coach kind of talk about it too, and he's right. Miscommunication on the first one, completely my fault on that one. The second one, just didn't see the guy. You know, Hayden was open, just didn't see the rotation. The safety made a good play of recognizing what we were doing and just running, you know, across the field. And then the third one, just can't happen. Just got to throw it away, take care of the ball. You know, bad decision. But at the end of the day, we won, and you know, so that's a lot better to learn from something with a W than it is the other way around. So just got to learn from it. That's about it.
Jake, on that play where they kind of almost got you in the end zone, you kind of slung it up, and Hayden went out and got the one-hander. What were you kind of seeing there?
It was you know, just rolling out a little naked off a play action, and I found like getting grabbed. I was in the end zone, so I tried to honestly throw it away, and it just happened to land in Hayden's hands. And Hayden made a lot of great plays for me today. I mean, he really. I mean, I think the play of the first interception, him running back and forcing a fumble, kind of epitomizes what this team's about, and what we want every guy to be like on our team. He could have easily just said, "Oh man," and just let him score, and you know, and just been like that. But he's really unselfish, and sprinted all the way back to cause that fumble. And you know, he's one of the most unselfish guys and the best teammate that I've probably had.
For either of you guys, talk about beating the East constantly, and today's win clinches, I think, a second-place spot in the SEC East. You guys finished 4-2. Just what's that mean to finish 4-2, and kind of where this program is and the progress you guys have made through 2-3 years?
Yeah, just like Mushan was talking about, just being able to see the progress in the program. And, you know, we work hard every day. You know, some of us stay after and do a little extra. And, you know, I feel like sometimes we can feel like that doesn't really play a factor into what we do, and it doesn't come into game days. But today I really felt like it did because, you know, we weren't, you know, too fatigued. You know, we were strong and we were doing everything that we could. We were executing. And as long as we do that, we're going to keep winning. So we got to keep it up.
AJ, with 7 wins now, do you guys start looking ahead at potential bowl destinations and what you could finish half with these next 2 games being at home?
For me, to be honest, I'm not really looking at the bowl game. I'm really just looking at the next game. Got to look at what's in front of you. You can't look too far ahead because you never know what's going to happen. Something can come and bite you in the butt. So you just got to be focused on the next thing.
AJ, what were you seeing out there when you were running the ball and I guess receiving as well? Seemed like you're just had a lot of space and room to operate.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to get in a lot of space today and felt like our Bs, you know, Hayden and Jacob, I feel like they did a really good job blocking, as well as the O-linemen, and give all the credit to them because, you know, without them I wouldn't have been to do like what I did. And yeah, I just ran the open holes, went gas, and you just got to run hard and, you know, create your own yards, you know, yards after contact. And that's something Coach Bentley talks about every day. You know, before practice, after practice, you know, before games, after games. He always talks about bull yards, and we just got to keep doing it. Got to get over 40%. That's always our goal as running back, and we just got to do that, keep doing it.
AJ, I think you had a career high today in rushing, and you've really just turned things around the last couple of weeks. What is it that you see is making you successful now?
Just guess being able to have the opportunity. I feel like earlier in the season, I didn't have all the opportunities that I have now to be able to play different positions and do a lot of different things for the team. But, Muschamp's model was man down, man up. We had some injuries and stuff, so I just had to step up in ways that my team needed me to, and that's what I'm doing, trying to do the best that I can for them.
Okay, looking ahead now, you've got Wofford coming up. What's going to be the mindset and the message this week to make sure that everyone doesn't overlook your next opponent?
I think defensively they know how difficult it is to stop a triple option type attack, and so I think they're going to be really locked in. Wofford's real good at what they do, and so they got to be locked in. And offensively, we know we may get limited possessions, knowing that the clock's going to be running the whole time. So we really got to be locked in to what we need to do and execute at a high level to score touchdowns and put pressure on them to throw the ball. And so I think this week, and the guys, I think the leaders on our team are going to step up again and keep us locked in.
For either one of you guys, Florida the last couple of weeks looked like they had kind of given up a little bit defensively. Were y'all surprised at how they played today, how aggressively they played?
Like Coach said, we knew that they were going to come in and fight, and they have a lot of great talent on their defense, and especially the D-line. D-line's Big Taven, he's a good player. We knew they were going to come in and fight, and it's an SEC game, and they have self-pride and they want to put good tape out there for everyone to see. So we knew they were going to come in and battle.
Jake, what did Will and the offensive coaching staff say to you after the third pick, and how do you think you responded to their encouragement, coaching, those kinds of things?
Just keep playing. Me and Coach Sims, our GA, just this summer we really worked on through the film. Go back from last year when we got down or something wasn't going right. My body language might have got a little bad, and I stopped being vocal on the sideline. So that's one thing he reminded me of. You're going to have games like this just to stay positive, stay energetic, keep leading the team. And, a lot of guys stepped up, AJ, Mon, to carry the load today. And, I got to be better and executing those plays and taking care of the ball. But, I think everyone never got rattled when we stayed positive and our main focus was just doing whatever it takes to win the game. Not thinking about the past and just wanting to win the game.
Jake, sort of a follow-up to that, it seemed like y'all had a lot of adversity today with turnovers. Some guys got hurt early, but you kept coming back, whether it was a touchdown or a defensive play. Where does that mentality come from that allows y'all to keep doing that?
I think it comes from the off-season training that we do and through fall camp and Coach Dillman and Coach Muschamp. That's what they talk about. Through life, through everything you do, you're going to be faced with adversity, and that's what they tell us all the time. And you got to find a way to get through it. And the so what now what mentality. I think that guys really bought into that. I think it started off as just a thing you say. We just kind of said it and didn't think anything about it. But through the season, I think the guys have really adapted that mindset to so what, it happened, forget about it, and let's move on and do whatever it takes from here. So I think the guys have really bought into what Coach Muschamp and Coach Dillman are trying to establish here and the rest of the coaches.
Jake, they got 3 sacks on you in the first half, and at least on a couple of it seemed like you really held the ball a long time trying to make a play. How do you strike that balance between trying to make a play and then just get rid of it and live to fight another day?
Yeah, that's always the question, whether you just throw it away or try to buy more time in the pocket to get something off. So I think a couple of the plays were longer developing plays that we thought we could get done and just ran out of time. So the biggest thing there is just take care of the ball. And if it's a sack, it's a sack. Just make sure we have the ball at the end of the play.
I don't know if either one of you guys noticed after the game all the Florida players coming up to embrace Muschamp and speak to him. What do y'all think that says about him and just kind of the relationships he's been able to build with guys who he used to coach?
Well, AJ can answer too, but we all love Coach Muschamp, and you can see that everyone on the Florida team that he coached did too, just because it's more than a head coach to us. Some people might think a head coach just kind of oversees everything, but you know, he's, you know, he wants to know what's going on with our life. He wants to know about our family. He's real personable, and just a great coach and a great guy that, you know, we want to play for. And I think that's evident, and seeing that, those Florida guys coming up to him and embracing him because he's so, you know, he cares for everyone that he coaches.
Jake, 4 rushing touchdowns the last 3 games. I think before that you didn't have a rushing touchdown in your career, at least at the college level. Obviously, those 3 games have come after the bye week. Is that something that was talked about at the bye week, saying maybe, you know, use your feet a little bit more, try to get be a little bit more mobile, or is this just how it's kind of just happened?
It's really just how it happened. Coach Jenkins, you know, played quarterback here. He's one of our assistants in the weight room, and every week he was like, "Man, just pull it," and just kind of just playing with me. But then, you know, I did it and it worked, and so every time I pull one now, he's all excited. And but you know, it really just happened. Just making plays, and I get to run behind Hayden. So if he's out there blocking for me, I know I'm got a good chance of getting some yards. So.
This Florida defense has kind of been prone to giving up big plays. You guys get them for, I think, 12 explosives today. Is there something about their style that kind of makes it a little more boom and bust?
I mean, not really. I mean, I think you just, you know, go back to, you know, maybe a guy out of a gap, or we did a good job in our blocking schemes of making big holes for AJ to get through. So, and then, you know, our guy made a play over there. So I think it's I don't think it's anything, you know, schematically that they do. I think it's just, you know, wanting it more on our side of the ball.
Last one, please.
Jake, you grew up in Spartanburg, and you know Wofford's going to bring a lot of fans from Spartanburg with them. Is this a special game for you in any way?
For me, you know, Coach Muschamp, I think everyone gets wrapped up in, you know, winning the state as just, you know, the game at the end of the year. But I think if you look at it, you know, we kind of take Carolina, you know, both Carolinas as, you know, one. So if you look at NC State, if you look at, you know, Wofford, it's another chance for us to win the state. So, you know, that's what's most important to me. But, you know, it's pretty cool, you know, growing up, kind of, you know, seeing Wofford stuff. You know, they just got a new basketball facility, so they got a lot of good stuff going, you know, at their school. So it's going to be a good game for them to come down and bring a lot of fans from the upstate.
Swing over to the defensive side of the ball with Taylor Stallworth and John Kinlaw. Mr. Stallworth.
Ah! Woo!
The boy's been working hard.
Taylor, obviously a pretty big game for you. How good did it feel to be back out there, and what was Florida's offensive line showing you that you could get such good penetration?
Well, it felt great to be back out there with my boys, you know, having to miss some of Georgia game and then not able to, like, participate in practice. So, like, it felt real good being out there. And, like, they O-line, like, you know, scheme-wise, we was able to, like, you know, get pass rush on them because, like, certain areas they wasn't good at pass rush. So, you know, watching film, you know, doing a lot of film study on that.
How much did rushing the passer kind of factor into the game plan, and how much did that add momentum for either one of you just in the game and over the course of it?
Well, we knew going in that they weren't going to run the ball, but they also have able to pass the ball too with 8 and 13. So, you know, we just knew like we got pass rush.
Taylor, you've gone from 3 to 6 wins, and you get your 7th win today with 2 games to spare. And how much pride do you take in the progression that y'all have made over the last few years?
You know, I'm very proud of where we at right now, you know, but we still have to get better. So, like, but at the moment right now, I'm very proud of where we at. Coming from being in from this year to last year, like a huge progression.
Javon and Taylor, what does the so what, now what mentality mean to you guys, and how much does it affect how you play?
I mean, to me, it means like whatever happened, it's over with. So what? You can't, I mean, it's the past. You can't do nothing about it. So just get ready for the next play.
Yeah, true. Like JK just said, you know, it over with. Like, hey, you can only control yourself and what you can do. So you can't control what you can't control.
Javon, y'all haven't been a great third down defense this year, but 2 for 15 for Florida today. What has Coach Muschamp said to you guys, and what was different about today that allowed y'all to get off the field?
Well, I mean, the game plan is pretty much, it hasn't changed. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess we was a little hype out there, you know what I'm saying? Well, for myself, I noticed, like, with the way they was setting, they was trying to set down, you know, and I didn't use no finesse. I just used straight power on them. So, and it worked out for me.
Yeah.
Javon, you've completely changed your body even from how you were as a player at the beginning of the season to now, just your progression. How do you feel when you're playing now compared to where you were? I mean, you wouldn't have been able to make that tackle on the sideline at the beginning of the year.
I mean, I just feel like I can run anywhere on the field, you know what I'm saying?
Big boy.
With my weight loss, it's just been making me move faster, you know. Endurance is going up. It just keep going up and up. So I'm going to just keep on trying to get better every week. That's the goal.
Talk about the challenge of having to play a team like Wofford that you don't see that kind of style with option football and having to go to that and having a week to prepare for that.
Well, I mean, we can't sleep on them, you know. It's a regular game, you know. Don't matter if it's whoever it is. We ain't gonna take them light, you know. We gonna come out and play because they gonna come out and want to beat us. So we ain't gonna sleep on them.
Taylor, you've seen some of that option.
Seen some what?
That option they run.
Well, we only went over it during the bye week, so I'm just going to enjoy the win right now and then focus on that Tuesday.
You worry about that next week.
Javon, going back to running towards the sidelines, how much do your eyes widen when you see that opportunity present itself to be able to go and make an open field tackle?
Oh, I be in my mind like, oh, I'm finna knock this boy out. I start drooling, boy. I be like, come on, slow him down a little bit. And it happened. Jam slowed him down enough, so I just try to knock him out. You know?
I like that.
Like that.
Like that.
I had a similar question, but just describe that play. What happened when you raced all the way across the field to the sideline and make that tackle? How did that play develop?
Let me give y'all my perspective of it.
Please do.
I think it was what? Swill?
It was, yeah, Swill.
It was Swill. So I did my technique. Then I see JK coming free, and I see Jam slowing him down. All that went in my mind was like, they better call the ambulance. Because this is a big boy.
Yo, well, from my perspective, I mean, you know, I ran my little stunt, you know, and they kept saying, watch the screen. And I saw him throw that little pass. I said, oh, yeah, it's over with. It's over with. So I just had to put the Jets on a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Ran over there, did my thing, got up, got a little hype, got ready for the next play.
Looking.
That's how it went. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo. You a fool. Yeah. Gotta have fun in here, man. Hey, yo.
Hey.
Gotta have fun in here.
Anything else? Come on. Where's the mic?
During timeouts and stuff, when you guys were on the field, you were doing a lot of dancing out there, having fun. How much did that get you guys fired up for the next series of plays?
Well, first of all, it was cold, so we had to move somehow.
Yeah, it was cold. But I seen the Jets do it, you know. When they was doing it, their whole team, I was like, man, we got to be on that Saturday.
That way.
So every time they turn the song on, you know, I just got them boys hyped, you know, and we was ready to play.
Yeah.
So getting hyped like that, it make it a lot easier to play, you know, because with me, when I get hyped like that, man, I'm like a little chihuahua. I be everywhere, trying to get everywhere, you know.
What?
100 miles per hour, you know what I'm saying?
Could say Doberman.
Man, chihuahua. They.
I think I'm gonna let these guys go.
No, seriously. Every Tuesday, every Saturday, they got to be in.
That's Mike Benson.
Mon, where did Mon come from?
It really originally from my middle name. My middle name Damon. Yeah. Everybody in my family called me Mon as a little nickname.
How big a part of what you guys are doing has that "so what, now what" mantra become?
It just everybody has the same mindset. If one of us mess up on one play, we got to get over and just move on to the next. So what, now what?
How often do you hear it on the sideline during the game?
Oh, we hear it all the time.
Mon, just take me through those 2 touchdown runs and kind of how wide did your eyes get when you saw those holes open up? And
The first one, my eyes got big. I seen it open up. I had seen, I think it was Donnell and who was Daly? Donnell and Corey. They blocked defenders pretty good, and then I just got through the hole, tried to get skinny, and then tried to hit it. And the second one, it was a power play. Tight end did a good job picking up the linebacker, and just scored.
Mon, for you, just kind of with the rocky way your career sort of started, what does it mean to be able to score 2 touchdowns in a game like this and sort of establish the role that you have?
Every time I get out there, I try to take advantage. Even if it's a passing play and I'm not getting the ball, I try to take advantage of every play that I get.
Mon, it seemed like some of those runs in between the tackles worked a little bit better today than they have over the course of the year. What was different about today, and is it something different that you bring to be able to create those big runs up the middle?
I think the O-line did a good job today. They was able to get the blocking scheme down very good, and it was up to us to make a play.
Rashad Fenton. See, last player. Rashad Fenton. Questions for Rashad? Fenton in front.
Without DJ back there, how much did the safeties and Jam kind of step up and use some of their versatility to sort of make up for that absence?
Oh yeah, that was definitely a big loss today. But I mean, the backups we do have, Montac and Chris, and also Jam at the nickel spot. They also do a good job. I feel like they play awfully a lot this season. So it's just like Coach say, next man up, and stuff like that happens.
What, if anything, did you guys change when they went to the other quarterback, Franks? Did you guys think that they were going to throw it more, that kind of thing?
Coach told us it might be more pass game, but I feel like the game plan stayed the same, and we just had to execute like that.
What has Coach Muschamp said to you guys about third down defense? Y'all weren't particularly good coming in, but 2 of 15 today.
Oh yeah, especially from last game, he felt like we were supposed to get off the field way more on third downs. So this week, they definitely told us a lot. Let's get off the field third downs, and that's really how you win games, getting off the field on third downs.
Do you know many guys on Florida that played under Muschamp, like guys you grew up with, or?
Not that really played under Muschamp, but I know plenty of guys that played there under Coach McElwain and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if you heard from guys what it was like to play for Muschamp before he got here. Or...
Oh no, I never had those type of discussions with the guys that was still there with Muschamp. Just the new guys.
Rashad, how much man coverage did you guys play today, and how much easier is your job covering wide receivers when the defensive line's getting pressure like they did today?
I feel like we played awfully a lot coming in with the quarterback who got hurt today. He said we was going to apply some pressure to him because he couldn't really handle the pressure too well. So I mean, it was all right. You know, playing man-to-man, you get tired fast, but you just have to stand your ground and just trust your technique and trust everything. It'll just fall into play.
What goes through your mind when you see Javon Kinlaw run from the middle of the field over to the sidelines to tackle someone?
That's a crazy sight. But, I mean, it's also funny at the same time because you don't really expect someone that big to kick in. But, I mean, it's definitely a wonder. I'm not going to lie. He's a good player.
Rashad, whose idea was it to dance on defense?
To be honest, I don't know if anyone planned it, but just the right songs was being played by the DJ, and I guess it was just to get hype. It's just a team effort at that time. I know I didn't hear nobody saying, "Hey, let's go out there and dance." I didn't hear that.
What's it mean to you to get big wins over programs like Tennessee and now Florida?
Oh, definitely Florida. Coming from Miami, Florida, it was definitely a big win, and we haven't won or beaten Florida since I've been here. So today it was definitely a great feeling to finally beat Florida themselves. And I kind of took that personal this game right here.
Thank you.